So, now welcome back. This is part 2. And let's talk about the Middle East and what's going on in Gaza and Netanyahu. So I just watched a video of Netanyahu from way back when he was like 28 years old, when he was getting his footing of being the leading Zionist in the world. And, basically he's pretty much made a career out of being a Zionist, and met all the important people for the last, 40 years? It's amazing. He's pretty good talker. Yeah. So, he inherited this role from others. There was already a mess going on in the region due to what happened with the UN drawing up new maps and giving land that didn't belong to them to give. They gave it over to what we now call Israel, with an illegal vote that didn't pass. And we've been paying the price ever since. That happened in 1947. They redrew the lines, and then the illegal vote happened in 48. And then people just let them do. I mean, they didn't let them. The wars began right after that. And so the world has not known a time without a war going on, some sort of terrorist activity going on in that region. And it's because of the UN, and because of the US, and because of the UK. So, I cannot sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to. That's the truth. So, but I'm not going to talk about that moment, really, except for the fact that we need to negate that. And we need to go back to what once was something called Palestine. And Israel is just the Hebrew word for it. So no country on the planet needs to be a country based on religion. That's number one. So religion is one thing and countries are another. Because in countries, you got people from different backgrounds that may not follow your religion. Now, if your country has a prevalence to one religion or another, then yes, you can base your holidays on that religion. But to be ruling a country with the belief of a religion is not good. And I do have to go back to the setting up of Israel in the first place, because the letter that was written that this mandate came from said that there needs to be a home for the Jewish people. It didn't say there needed to be a country. And that's the difference. So we don't owe Jewish people a whole country. We owe Jewish people a place where they can live in peace. But as soon as we gave them a country, there's been nothing but war and hate and hostilities. So the fact that they're not rising up and stopping this means that they actually don't really want to live in peace either. So hint, hint, that, this whole concept of giving a country the name of Israel, the homeland of the Jews, has not solved the problems with religions and Judaism. In fact, it irritated it even more. So I think we need to, since the world came together and made that decision to create Israel as we know it today, the world can come together and make a decision to uncreate Israel as we know it today. And that is what I suggest we do. because it's not acceptable that this is going on and on and on. And Netanyahu has made a career of it. He's laughing himself silly, you know. He's like, thanks for all the money you've given us, and you know, I'm a billionaire now, and you know, yeah, it's been a never-ending thing. And so it's time for the countries of the world to come together and come up with a new solution. My suggestion is we change the name back to Palestine. The Jewish people can live there, but the lines will be redrawn. And there has to be some sort of coexistence going on, but peaceful. Because it's not only... so Judaism is a religion, the original Abrahamic religion, and then it splintered into many different other religions. And so we have Christianity that came out of it, and then we also have Islam that came out of it. And they all stake claims to the region. So they all have to be together in peace. But so far, you know, it is not happening. So we need to look at ourselves. The countries around the world, the governments around the world need to look at themselves and say, hey, this is not working. We need a new solution. And there's no shame in that. This is what I don't get. There's no shame in realizing that we made a mistake. You know, maybe it seemed like a good idea at the time. I can't imagine how that could be when most of the people around there did not want that, but nobody considered it. And so, you know, when you go in and you force things like taking over a whole country and renaming it, you know, it's just, it's war propaganda stuff. So, but the Christian Zionists who want Israel to be in existence so that Jesus can come again, they're doing it for selfish reasons. And then the Jews want it for also selfish reasons. And, I mean, I guess maybe Islam wants it for selfish reasons too, but there's got to be a way to coexist there. Because, you know, all this warring, it's endless. And it needs to end. So, I'm going to stick my neck out and say this, that I'm not so sure that some of the weapons being used on both sides of the Israeli and Palestine warring, I'm going to say the weapons are probably from the United States. And I'm almost going to say that Netanyahu is a war criminal and that he has completely organized this so that there is an ongoing conflict. I think he's working maybe both sides. And, you know, I am risking my reputation in saying that, but I just, I don't see how it could be anything else. So I watched a video just now about him saying that if the PLO wasn't there, that peace could definitely happen. So the PLO is not there, and we're still, how many years later? You know, 40 years later? 45 years later? And there's still no peace. I mean, it's actually longer than that because, you know, but that's just since Netanyahu made that statement. So, you know, he's a liar. And he knows how to manipulate. He's a narcissist liar, and he's been manipulating the world and especially the USA for a long time. Or maybe the USA is in on it too. Maybe they're getting some sort of kickback. I don't know. But it's got to stop. This is part of the getting rid of corruption type thing. So Jewish people have a home. It's called planet Earth. It's like the rest of us. We all belong here. You're not special. You're not the chosen ones. Sorry to break the news. You're just like the regular people. Except you have some sort of belief that you are special and that you deserve to have some sort of special place. Well, no. You're a religion that believes in an imaginary friend called God. So, no, we don't negotiate with fanatics. And that's what you are. Because there is no proof of God. No one has yet proven it to me or many others. And so you're just selling lies on top of lies. You know it, and I know it. Now, you may like your customs, and that's one thing. Religion is filled with many different things. Community, customs, traditions. And so customs and traditions, I understand you want to keep your customs and traditions. Why not? But to claim that we, the world, owe you, the Jews, a country is ridiculous. I mean, Unitarian Universalism, we don't have a country. Christians don't have a country. I don't know about Islam, but I think that they don't have a country either. I mean, like I said, there might be countries that have a predominant religion, and then their holidays and activities go around those holidays. But there are also people in other countries that are run by other religions that are coexisting with those people in those countries. So to put religion as a rule for a country is a bit ridiculous. And when you think about the fact that there are a lot of atheists around, to force atheists to believe in an imaginary friend, I don't know. You don't have the right to give your insanity to me. If you want to believe in an imaginary friend, that's your thing. But there are people out there who don't believe in an imaginary friend. We like customs and cultures, yes, and traditions, but not imaginary friends. So, this whole thing is preposterous to me. I have no idea how it got so far. And we need to end it. I don't really know what's going on in Gaza. It doesn't look good, but I'm keeping, I'm not president, so I don't know what's going on there. And a lot of you aren't president either, so you don't know what's going on there. It does seem that people are not being fed and people are being killed. And this is not acceptable. Now, what happened in the Holocaust, I also don't know. Why? I do know from living in Switzerland that Germans like to go to the Mediterranean. And so when they were, sectioning off countries after the war, I can see that people said, hey, we want a piece of the Mediterranean. And they arranged it. They called it Zionism. So, I want to give support to anyone who's looking to use logic and facts in ruling a country. That's what I want. So, yeah. I guess that's the end of part 2. I'm going to have a third part. So, again, my name is Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki, a presidential candidate from the 2024 presidential election. I have an email, I have a website. It's susan4usa.com. That's Susan, the number 4, usa.com. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.